Hey, what's up? What's up, everyone? So, I just wanted to jump into why I thought that Borderlands, the pre-sequel, was really just very underappreciated. Because I think this is, a fantastic sequel to Borderlands 2. And I've beaten the campaign 3 times, twice with Athena, once with Wilhelm. And I really think this game didn't get the credit that it deserved, and it seems like a lot of passion was put into this project. And I think the existence of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is a perfect example of how good this game is, and it never got the credit that it did. Let's see. Oh, I was going to show you the XMB, whatever, the PlayStation menu, but I can't do that while I'm recording. So Tiny Tina's thing came out, and it was extremely half-baked in my opinion. Extremely half-baked, not worth $60 at all. If anything, I would totally switch these two. The pre-sequel was released for $40 and Tiny Tina's was released for $60. I think the pre-sequel easily had a better justification in going for $60, even though it was only $40. And Tiny Tina's, I would say, maybe a $30 game, maybe. One of the big things, like for reasons why I like to play games, is to do stuff I can't do in real life, that sort of thing. And so I love playing with new Vault Hunters having really cool and original abilities. So Tiny Tina's came out, the Wonderlands game, and the special abilities were like basically a hammer smash, hammer leap, hammer spin. The Necromancer had a ground pound. A lot of these abilities were extremely boring. Like, you look at it, like, I don't want to play a whole campaign doing just that. They didn't have a lot of great, like, you look down the skill tree where the skills got cooler and better. For instance, where like in Borderlands 2, one of the characters could throw out a turret, then eventually could throw out 2 turrets, then eventually that turret could like unleash a nuke when you throw it, or start shooting missiles. It got better and better and better. A lot of the abilities in Tiny Tina's were like, this is the basic ability, and then there's just stat increases to it, and that's it. And then also I just realized they only had like 1 skill tree per character, and every skill tree from like Borderlands 2 to the pre-sequel to even Borderlands 3, every character had 3 skill trees. So there was diversification and like all that sort of stuff. And that game was just so... I thought Tiny Tina's was going to be a Game of the Year contender in my opinion. And I played it once and I was like...
Just like in the military. Hurry up and wait.
I don't know if you guys heard that, but whatever. Yeah, so this game comes out for $40, and what they do is they give you, at launch, 4 new characters with 4 original abilities. Even Borderlands 3 can't claim that, Borderlands 3, they just remixed the same abilities you've basically been playing with the whole time. Where Amaya could, like, Amara, whatever her name is, could, like, suspend you in air and hold you there. That's basically Maya's ability in the second game. Zane, it's fun to see us to play as, he's basically Zero mixed with Wilhelm. So he's not, his abilities aren't original. Who's the other character? I love the concept of the robot guy with the pets. I do like that, but then he turns invisible and he's guaranteed critical hits. And that's mixed with what Zero did in Borderlands 2. He also has a flak attack where he summons the bats to attack you, which is basically Mordecai's ability in the first game. So Borderlands 3 was just a lot of remixing the same thing you played before on an updated engine at the time. It was Borderlands 2 on an updated engine. So originality-wise, Borderlands 3 and Tiny Tina's Wonderlands were complete disappointments in my opinion. Although Borderlands 3 has more replayability. Now Borderlands, the pre-sequel, you get the original abilities, which is why I come to this game. I actually think Borderlands, the pre-sequel, might be my favorite in the whole franchise, which not a lot of people would see it that way. I know 2 is considered the GOAT. So you got Athena. She gets this dope Captain America shield, and the spin they put on it is it's a magnetic, electrified, sort of energy-based projectile weapon. It absorbs the kinetic energy of all the bullets, stores that energy up, and you can throw it right back at them. I love that. So it's a defensive and offensive capability maneuver. I find it very fun. If you look at her skill tree, it only gets better as you invest in it. let's see, you know, increased damage dealt, yeah. You regenerate health while you're holding the shield. That only makes perfect sense. You regenerate the shield. Movement speed and gun damage is increased. You can hold it for longer. You can now store elemental types of damage you received and dish it out. You can reflect incoming lasers and bullets while still absorbing their energy. You can bounce it off several enemies at once. And this one, which I unlocked in a previous playthrough, but then I reset, this dope one. When you throw the Aspis, a devastating fire and lightning storm will spawn at the target location, dealing damage to those caught in the storm for several seconds. The damage of the storm increased based on the amount of damage absorbed by the Aspis. That mixed with bouncing it off several targets is just going to be super dope. It's super fun to look forward to. Getting this dashing melee strike. This is just like, I want to play through all of this. And this is just fun to me. Wilhelm, you know, he summons 2 drones simultaneously, an attack drone and a healing drone. You know, that's super fun to me. Claptrap, they did this thing where he does remix, he has past Vault Hunter abilities mixed in, but if you look at his skill tree, he unlocks different abilities that could be thrown into the randomness of his ability, what's it called? His skill. So if you go down the skill tree, he's like new stuff. He turns into a giant Ferris ship with cannons shooting out, and he does all this crazy stuff. The pre-sequel also, you know, launched 2 additional characters at the launch. The Handsome Jack doppelganger Timothy, where he summons 2 holograms of himself, which distracts enemies, so you don't always have enemies attacking you. And then you get what's her name? The Baroness Aretha, something like that. And she does the ice target thing, which slows down enemies and that sort of thing. And then they also gave you the Claptastic Voyage, a story-based DLC. I really felt, because like, if anyone's paying attention, in the early 2010s, a lot of video game companies, publishers or whatever, they saw popular video game franchises and they thought, okay, we already have the formula. We already have the successful formula here. We're going to take another upcoming independent studio. We're going to have them make a spin-off version of this existing property. For instance, after God of War 3 launched in 2010, they had another studio come in and do God of War Ascension. And everybody was like, it's an okay game. After Arkham City launched in 2011, they had WB Montreal come in and do Arkham Origins, and it was okay. After Assassin's Creed Black Flag came out, and everybody loved it to this day, then they had another company come in and do Assassin's Creed Rogue, and it was okay. And of all these, after Dark Souls 1 came out, not my favorite game, but then they had another company or another head director come in and step in and do Dark Souls 2, which to many of the Soulsborne community, they don't really like Dark Souls 2 that much. So there's a lot of mediocrity coming in from another developer taking a beloved franchise and running with it. But I really feel pre-sequel at the very least is at the top of the bunch of this one in terms of like quality wise. They did something that they can say even the developers didn't really do. Borderlands 3 comes around and they just give you the same remixed crap of using abilities you've already used before in a mediocre story. The only thing really going for Borderlands 3 is that it ran in an updated engine on new platforms. So of course Borderlands 3 plays better than Borderlands 2 because it's on PS4 and Xbox One as opposed to PS3 and Xbox 360. That's really all they had going for it. So I don't know. I'm just do a little bit of playthrough while I talk a little bit more about why I really just love pre-sequels so much. I think it was the first one I've actually beaten because when I first got into Borderlands a few years ago, around 2019, it was the Handsome Jack version that they were selling to people. And for some weird reason, Borderlands 1 wasn't a part of this. Damn, that's loud. It was only a pre-sequel in Borderlands 2 that was part of the package. So to this day, I have not really played Borderlands 1 yet. So I actually downloaded it to give it a try because I don't really like usually going backwards. But I'm gonna play the first one for the first time, see what that's about. And I just never get tired of using that shield. It's just so much fun. Let's see. I'm also not a big New Game Plus type of player, but I'm gonna give that a try. See how fun that is, and if anyone wants to like comment in about which is their favorite Vault Hunter. I had a friend of mine who really likes playing as El Salvador, the guy who wields 2 guns in the second game. And I've been meaning to like give a playthrough with him because when I first started playing with him, the gun accuracy was really rough. Now I'm thinking, oh, I just gotta like upgrade it or something, because like getting the shots to land was damn near impossible. So I guess I'll just jump into like who I'd beaten this game with before. So yeah, actually I beat it twice with Athena and once with Wilhelm. I beat Borderlands 2 first with Maya. Then I beat it with, I believe, Axton. That's his name, the guy with the turrets. Then I beat it with Krieg, of course, because he's everybody's favorite. One thing with Krieg, he was very hard to play that game in the like first 15 levels. I felt like once I locked his 15th ability, the whole you kill me, I'm gonna run and throw out dynamite to try and revive myself, that's when he got more playable. The first 14 levels playing with him, I died non-stop. What else is going on? Jesus, these things spawn infinitely. So I beat it at then Borderlands 3. I beat the game with all the characters actually. I was hoping for a new character to get released, but yeah, I first beat it with, I believe, Zane. Then I beat it with the what's his name? The animal guy, the robot guy with the animals. Then I beat it with Mose, then Amara. One thing that annoyed me about Amara is like I saw her skill tree, like how she could like turn enemies against each other, which I always loved. But like for some reason her phase grasp doesn't allow her to actually turn enemies against each other, even though the skill tree implies that it does. But Maya can. In Borderlands 2, Maya can use her phase lock, phase grasp to turn enemies against each other. In Borderlands 3, she's not capable. You could do the phase lock, but it doesn't do the AI switcheroo thing. So that annoyed me. Felt like I wasted a whole playthrough on her. Where am I supposed to go? What am I? Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to get the moon buggy and go to Concordia. I've always hated how you, on New Game Plus and repeated playthroughs, you still gotta do that whole hub area thing where you talk to people and do dumb tasks. I really wish that was skippable. So yeah, let's see. Athena would be my favorite of the pre-sequel, and technically she's my favorite of the entire series. Then, let's see, of Borderlands 2, character-wise, personality-wise, it would be Krieg. Actual playthrough, might be Axton with the turret thing. Let's see. I remember playing with Zero when I first got Borderlands 2, and like when I had to go through the whole first raid-ish, like level 13, I forgot what the name of the level was, but they were even telling you gotta like practice before you get here. I was just dying like crazy, and I was just like, nah man, this is too much. Borderlands 3, character-wise, I would actually say Zane and the robot guy, Flack is his name, are tied. I just genuinely like them both because I just love controlling animals. But I like the animal part of him more than his actual abilities. So I think Zane might edge out because he's the only character who gets 2 abilities in one, and I think that's cool, and he's very funny and sarcastic. And Mose is the only really original character thing in Borderlands 3 because her ability is entirely new, where she could summon a huge mech and become like a Hulkbuster type of character. And you could recommend it to your friends because like playing with Mose in Borderlands 3 is like playing in easy mode. So there's that.
Alright, welcome to Concordia, a crap hole if I ever saw one.
Let's
Find a
hear this
guy
out.
named Huckster, he's ex-Hyperion, runs the town.
Okay, and then for pre-sequel, the only reason worth playing it, even though if you haven't played the Wonderlands, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, a garbage game. The only reason worth playing it is to basically play as Thor. They don't even have original. They come up with a cheap character creator because they don't even want to come up with 4 characters for you. The only thing worth doing in that game is playing with Thor's hammer. That's the one thing they did right. And yeah. So, but if you haven't played it yet, and it's still $60, and you really want to play Borderlands, I would wait till the price comes down, because that game is a massive disappointment. The only thing really going for it is the world design, and that's about it. There's so much of it that just feels half-baked, but they sell it for you full price at $60. So that's just my take on it, and I just want to, I guess, wrap up with, I don't think the pre-sequel gets as much love as it should, because these people, these side developers, the B team, whoever made this, my phone's not near me, whoever made this really put a lot of care into it. Make sure you got the most bang for your buck. You got 6 original characters. I mean, most of them are, like they said, existed in previous whatever, but like you got these new abilities, so you can like play the game multiple times. They gave you a story-based DLC. You know, I really feel like, you know, when you ask a side developer, a B team, to tackle a franchise that's already been established by the main group, you can't really expect it to match it. You could really just hope they give it their all and try to give you a quality product. And I really feel pre-sequel more than lived up to that. They gave you the laser weapons, the energy, that vending machine where you can mix all your weapons and try and get a legendary. I think they should be really proud of themselves for the project that they did. You know, that's just my opinion on it. That's just my take. If you appreciate it or not, let me know in the comments. Have a good time.
You're in violation of the verbal space morality statute. You just got a ticket.
What the f?